If a new owner buys a business and that business has a judgment against it, is the judgment still valid for the business, or is the judgment only for the prior owner? So I'll tell you how to get around this in a moment, but let me just first answer the question. A judgment on a business stays with that business. So if a new owner buys the business, the judgment remains with the business. For example, let's say we have ABC Corporation, and somebody sued ABC Corporation, and they got a judgment for $100,000. And let's say you go buy ABC Corporation. Does the corporation still have that judgment against it and still owe that money? Yes, it does. There's no question about this. So how do you get around this? Because obviously you don't want to buy a business with a judgment. Instead of buying the stock of a corporation or the ownership of an LLC, don't buy the entity. Don't buy the LLC or corporation. Buy the assets out of it. So you're not going to buy the liabilities. Those are the debts. You only buy the assets. So let's say, for example, you have a piano store. They have 100 pianos for sale, and you want to buy that business. You want to buy the customer list so that you can stay in touch with all these piano buyers. You want to buy the inventory, so that's all the pianos. You may want to buy some other contracts. You might want to take over some of the contracts of the business with contractors. If that business has a judgment against it, don't buy the shares. Don't buy the business itself. Buy the pianos, that's the inventory. Buy the customer database. Buy any assets that you want out of the business. But don't buy the entity. Leave the liabilities in the old entity and start a new entity. This is a great best practice for buyers of businesses, because even if you don't know about a judgment that's out there, there might be a lawsuit that comes later from an old business. So I always recommend my clients who are buying businesses buy the assets of the business, not the entity itself. You can even buy the name, so you can keep using the name. You let that old entity go, you create a new entity with a new name, and you authorize use of that new name. As long as this is done right, the old entity's liabilities will not transfer to the new entity. This is called an asset purchase as opposed to a stock purchase. A stock purchase is when you buy the stock of a corporation. An asset purchase is when you just buy the assets out of the corporation. You don't acquire the corporation. And those assets can be everything of value. The company name, the customer relationships, the inventory, cash and bank accounts, whatever you want. The employees, the contractors. But what you're not buying is the liabilities, and you're not buying the shares. I'm Aaron Hall. I'm an attorney for business owners and entrepreneurs. I do this educational channel to help you spot issues to discuss with your attorney, to help you identify ways to avoid problems. But keep in mind, it's an educational channel. This is not a replacement for using an attorney who understands the law in your state, in your jurisdiction, and can take the time to understand your particular goals, concerns, and exceptions that might apply to you. I'd love for you to get the exclusive free resource that we make available to subscribers. It's a list of common legal problems and how to avoid them, and then educational videos talking about how to avoid those problems in your company and set your company up for success. You can get that at aaronhall.com/free. Enter your email address, and we will start sending you that information by email. If you have other questions, feel free to continue to add them here.